Baseball fans, buckle up, because what happened in Tampa on Tuesday night was nothing short of jaw-dropping. The New York Yankees didn't just win, they made history again. In a 13-3 beatdown of the Tampa Bay Rays, the Bronx Bombers tied their franchise record by blasting 9 home runs in a single game. Yes, you heard that right, 9. And if that sounds familiar, it's because this same Yankees squad already pulled off the exact same feat earlier this season against the Milwaukee Brewers. That's not just rare, that's historic. No other team in Major League Baseball has ever had 2 games with 9 home runs in the same season. It's the kind of power surge that makes even casual fans sit up and pay attention. Now, let's set the scene. The game was delayed nearly 2 hours due to rain and lightning. And honestly, that kind of break can throw any team off rhythm. But not these Yankees. In fact, it seemed like the wait only fueled them. By the time the first inning was over, Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Giancarlo Stanton had already gone back to back to back with 3 straight homers. Talk about a statement. Imagine being Tampa Bay starter Shane Baz, standing on the mound after a long delay, and then, boom, 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 3 of baseball's biggest sluggers crush consecutive shots. That's a nightmare for any pitcher. And the crowd inside George M. Steinbrenner Field, where the Rays are temporarily playing, got to witness it up close. What makes this even more wild is that the Yankees didn't just rely on their usual stars. Sure, Judge hit his 40th homer of the season, continuing his climb into Yankee legend territory. And both Stanton and Bellinger delivered 2 bombs each. But they weren't alone. José Caballero hit 2 of his own, marking the first multi-homer game of his career. Then you had Chisholm Jr. and Ben Rice chipping in with 1 apiece. That's 7 different Yankees leaving the yard in the same game. It shows the depth of this lineup. It's not just the big names that can change the game with 1 swing. From top to bottom, everyone was locked in. Let's talk about Aaron Judge for a second. With his 40th home run of the season, Judge joined truly elite company in Yankees history. He's now one of only 4 players in franchise history to notch at least 4 40-homer seasons. The others? Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Mickey Mantle. That's Mount Rushmore territory right there. Judge is proving year after year that he belongs in that conversation. He already has a 52-homer season from his rookie year in 2017, the record-breaking 62 homers in 2022, and 58 last year. Now he's on pace for yet another massive total in 2025. This is a guy who, no matter how high the expectations are, somehow keeps meeting and even exceeding them. Cody Bellinger deserves a big spotlight too. Remember, he was a key off-season pickup, and there were questions about how he'd adapt in New York. So far, he's been thriving. Against the Rays, he went 4 for 5 with 2 homers and 3 RBIs. That's the kind of performance Yankee fans were dreaming of when he put on the pinstripes. Bellinger brings more than just his bat. He's got defensive range, athleticism, and veteran presence. But when he's swinging like this, he changes the entire dynamic of the lineup. Add him into the mix with Judge and Stanton, and suddenly, opposing pitchers have nowhere to breathe. Speaking of Stanton, when this guy connects, the ball doesn't just leave the park. It rockets out of it. His 2 home runs Tuesday were absolute lasers, including one to right center that had fans gasping before it even cleared the fence. Stanton has had his share of injuries over the years, but when he's healthy, he remains one of the most intimidating hitters in baseball. And when he's part of a chain reaction like we saw in the first inning, Judge, then Bellinger, then Stanton, it sends a message. The Yankees aren't just going to beat you, they're going to overwhelm you with power. Now, it wasn't all sunshine for Tampa Bay starter Shane Baz. The young right-hander had a rough outing, giving up 5 homers and 6 runs in just 3 innings of work. That pushed his ERA in recent starts to over 9, which is brutal. For a pitcher with such high potential, this stretch has to be frustrating. But credit to the Yankees, they didn't let up. They took advantage of every mistake, every pitch left over the plate. And honestly, that's the mark of a great team. It's not just about having sluggers, it's about executing when the opportunity is there. On the flip side, Yankees starter Carlos Rodon delivered exactly what the team needed. He went 6 innings, allowed just 2 runs, and picked up his 13th win of the season. Rodon hasn't always had it easy in New York, but performances like this show why the Yankees were willing to invest in him. When your offense is putting up double-digit runs, sometimes it's about not letting the other team creep back into the game. Rodon did just that. He kept the Rays at bay while his teammates kept adding to the scoreboard. Beyond the individual performances, this game carried some historic milestones. The Yankees became the first team in MLB history to hit back-to-back-to-back homers in the first inning 3 times in one season. They did it earlier against the Brewers on March 29th, and then again against the Tigers on April 29th. To do it a 3rd time in August? That's almost unbelievable. Back-to-back-to-back is rare in itself, but pulling it off multiple times in a single year is something most franchises can only dream about. It speaks to both the talent and the timing this lineup has found. Now let's zoom out to the bigger picture. With the win, the Yankees improved to 68-57, moving to the top of the American League wildcard standings. They're 5 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays in the AL East, and every win counts right now. It's been a season of ups and downs, but hitting 9 home runs in a game, twice, is a reminder of what this team is capable of when everything clicks. Meanwhile, the Rays dropped to 61-65, slipping further behind in a division that's proven to be one of the toughest in baseball. Crowd energy played a fascinating role here, too. Remember, this wasn't Tropicana Field. It was George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, normally used for Yankees spring training. Because of ongoing repairs at Tropicana, the Rays had to move games there, and let's be real, it almost felt like a Yankees home game. The stadium had just over 10,000 fans, but the atmosphere leaned heavily in New York's favor. Every home run, every big moment, it felt like the Bronx faithful had simply traveled south to watch their team crush it. That had to sting for the Rays. But baseball isn't just about one game. This matchup was also about momentum. The Yankees have now won 4 straight, and they're building confidence at just the right time of year. August and September are when playoff contenders separate themselves from the pack. If the Yankees can keep this offensive firepower going, they're not just looking like a wildcard team. They're looking like a serious October threat. For fans, that's the dream. A lineup firing on all cylinders when it matters most. For Tampa Bay, this game was another chapter in a frustrating season. The Rays have built a reputation for being scrappy, tough, and efficient, often finding ways to win with pitching depth and smart lineups. But this year, inconsistency has plagued them. Falling below .500 in mid-August puts them in a difficult spot. That doesn't mean they're out of it, but it does mean the margin for error is shrinking fast. Against a Yankees team swinging like this, even their usual strategies couldn't hold up. Looking ahead, the series isn't over. The Yankees and Rays face off again Wednesday night, with Drew Rasmussen taking the mound for Tampa and rookie Cam Schlittler starting for New York. For Rasmussen, it's a chance to stabilize the Rays' rotation, while Schlittler gets another opportunity to prove himself at the major league level. After the fireworks of Tuesday night, all eyes will be on whether the Yankees can keep the power surge alive, or if the Rays can finally cool them down. So what's the takeaway? The Yankees reminded the entire baseball world why they're called the Bronx Bombers. 9 home runs, 7 different players going deep. and a record-breaking display that ties into their rich history of power hitting. It's not just about one night. It's about building momentum, proving depth, and showing that this team is more than capable of chasing down October glory. For the Rays, it's about regrouping and finding answers. But for fans, Tuesday was pure entertainment, a reminder of why baseball can still deliver moments that feel larger than life.